This episode of Biters is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Hey everybody, this is Dianne. Welcome to Biters.
And this is Marnell, and I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Momo.
All I have to say is beer, 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 beer.
That's funny. That's part of my rating.
Well, then why don't you go ahead and tell us your rating for The Code, which is Season 4, Episode 11 of Fear the Walking Dead.
So I had a hard time finding bad about this episode, so I actually rated it kind of high. I'm trying to not put it way out there because I know we're winding down, so I didn't want to rate it too highly. But I said 4.2, particularly floral double IPAs with a hint of citrus.
You rated it higher than I did.
Ah!
I just gave it a flat 4. I felt like it was a solid episode. I gave it 4 out of 5 brewers supplanting cheesemakers. First,
awesome.
There's the cheesemaker, and now we have a brewer.
A brewer. Yes. Yes. He is my ugly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, the title. Actually, first I should talk about some numbers, I guess, shouldn't I? So, I've got numbers for last week for Close Your Eyes.
Okay.
So, we did not make the top 25 in overall cable for the week.
Damn you, Dr. Pimple Popper.
No, get this. We were beaten out by Alaska Bush people.
Ew, worse.
And we were beaten out not just in the top 25, but also in the 18 to 49 group. Although we did make the top 25 in the 18 to 49 group. So Fear the Walking Dead was 11th in the 18 to 49 age group, but they were still beat out by Alaska Bush people.
If there's any Alaska show not to watch, it's Bush People.
Really? I haven't watched it. So
It's so phony. Don't.
And we're not talking about ourselves when we say Alaska Bush people. It actually is a television show.
It is. It is. No, we're the Real Housewives of Alaska.
That's right. Don't get confused.
No. No Bush here.
Oh! My eyes!
I was talking about the president. I don't know what you were thinking.
All right. So the title, The Code. I cracked up when Wendell keep on trucking wrong. So now I totally understand. And of course, what we found out in the episode totally explains why he didn't really know his code.
Right. I loved it. When the road gets bumpy, you keep on moving ahead your truck. And then when Morgan asked what the code was, he said, you got to help people when they need the help. And you got to keep your truck moving.
Right.
Oh, that was really good.
It was really good. And they ended up being forced to kind of live up to their code at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we will totally get into that.
All right. So, I'll just give a quick rundown on writers and directors. So the writers were Andrew Chambliss and Alex Delisle. And Andrew Chambliss was actually on Talking Dead last week, and he was really funny. He's the guy that I said it looked like he was wearing not cargo pants. Capri pants.
Capri, yeah.
So he has written a total of 4 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead, and they have all been this season. So he has not been involved with this series prior to this season.
Well, he's doing a good job, in my opinion.
Right. And he wrote for Once Upon a Time, Vampire Diaries, Spartacus, and Dollhouse. So he's written for quite a few other things.
Love Dollhouse.
That's what you said. It's another one that I haven't watched.
It's Joss Whedon. Like I said, I'm currently rewatching Buffy for like the umpteenth million time. Kind of in preparation of the new Buffy that's slated to start filming at
That's
some
what you were saying. Is it a reboot or is it a pickup where they left off?
It is supposed to be, I think, a modern reboot because so Buffy was like 93, 94, 95 maybe to early 2000s. So just when cell phones and the internet were taking off. And I always laughed about how, like they very rarely like used cars. They very rarely used, like at the very, very like last season, I think they got cell phones. They had like flip phones or sliders or something. And so I'm going to be interested to see what the modern take on being so connected in the demon world on the Hellmouth is going to be. So, yeah.
I totally have to admit, I watched the movie. I didn't watch the television series. It was just after my time. And
Buffy and I were the same age. So
I remember you saying that.
Yep. So I grew up with her. She was a big female inspiration in my life, when, yeah, just never gave up. Yep. Driving influence.
Awesome.
Yeah. Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And they're kind of the same woman, just a few decades apart.
Right?
Well, our other writer for this episode of Fear was Alex Delisle, and Alex has been a staff writer on all of the episodes this season, has been the lead writer for 2, including this one. And the only other writing credit that I found for Alex was a short film called Puppy Dreams.
Right. He's done a couple of shorts. He was a director for one, an actor for a different one. Yeah.
Now, is Alex a man or a woman? Because I think Alex is a woman.
I think it's a man because his credits for self on Talking Dead for the episode Buried, it's credited as himself.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I must be then having a visual memory of the director who was female, Tara Nicole Where?
But the official photo has long hair.
Okay, now I have to look.
Yeah.
Now I can't not look.
I'm going to say gender nonspecific, which is totally okay.
Which actually could be legit with the name Alex, too. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the name Sam or Pat.
I'm sorry. I still have that awful Saturday Night Live image in my head. Pat.
Yes, we all go there when we think Pat. Any of us who lived through the 80s.
Okay, so I'm getting to IMDb. Interesting. Yeah, so I assumed Alex was female, but Alex could very well be gender fluid.
Yep.
Okay. There you go.
Awesome.
So our director was a woman named Tara Nicole, I'm going to say Weyr, Weyr. And this was her first time directing in in the Walking Dead universe in general. But she has credits for Lucifer, The Flash, Once Upon a Time, and I thought you would be amused by this. Way, way, way back in the day, Desperate Housewives.
That is so interesting because our featured cast member has a credit for Desperate Housewives.
Oh, right on. I just left his biography up on my page. I figured I would go there next. I will say that Tara Nicole Weyr, however you say it, has an upcoming episode of The Purge, that television series that's happening.
What?
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Okay, the first Purge movie was pretty good. Second Purge movie, crap. Third Purge movie, awesome. cannot wait for the series.
Well, now you have even more reason.
Oh,
Because a Fear the Walking Dead director is directing one of those episodes too.
I'm cavelling. Oh, so excited. I just saw another ad for that the other night. I was like, oh, I can't wait till it's out.
I've got to tell you, I haven't watched it because it's just too close to home. I watch way too much news. I watch way too much political news. It's just too close to home. I can't do it.
But it's savory escapism.
Oh no, see, for me it would not be escapist at all.
It's like the zombie apocalypse, but for one day a year. Like you get to shoot anybody one day, and I know it's nothing to joke about. We're totally joking. It's a show, it's a movie, it's not a documentary. Don't go into video game events or schools or anything and shoot people. This is not the Purge, it's not the ZA, but it's savory escapism.
See, but I would be one of those people that many people who are having savory escapist moments would be trying to hunt down and shoot. So,
and see, I would be
just too close to home.
I would be most likely, in all reality, I would drag my dogs down underneath my house because there's a crawl space that's at one point, at its highest point, it's about 5 feet tall, so I can stand upright, and at the lowest point, it's about 2.5 feet. So me and my dogs and some bottled water would be down there, and like, I seriously, I'm not even joking. I have reoccurring nightmares that the zombie apocalypse happens, and I and my dogs and my other half are underneath the house, like just kind of waiting it out, waiting for things to clear out. And my dogs start to bark, and the zombies come into the house, and the only way to get the zombies to leave is to pull at like the Will Smith thing on God, what was that movie?
Legend,
where he had to kill
or I Am
his
Legend.
Dog. I Am Legend, yeah. And like I wake up as I'm like strangling my dog.
Okay, that's horrible.
It's horrendous. Like, I am emotionally devastated for like 2 days every time I have that nightmare. It's awful.
That is just horrible. I can't believe that. That is one of the most heartbreaking scenes in any movie.
Right?
Oh my God.
Die?
And then you relive it again and again and again.
Like, as an adult, I like the only like thing that like nightmares scare me. Like I have this thing about Freddy Krueger. I've said it on the show where like when Nightmare on Elm Street, when it's on cable, I can't not watch it, but it scares the crap out of me. Like I'm 38 years old and I have to sleep with the lights on. But yeah, so nightmares just like leave me alone when I'm sleeping. Yeah.
And now we have to put your dreams on doesthedogdie.com.
Right? And so, in all actuality, in the zombie apocalypse or the Purge, I would probably be cowering under my house with my dogs. So, but yes, I'm so excited for the Purge, and that's awesome that they're a writer. They're writing?
Directing.
Awesome.
I will let you watch it and podcast it with someone else because I just don't have the time.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it. We're behind on Preacher.
I know we are. I'm so ashamed, and then I'm vacationing, which is going to put us even more behind. But Mr. Perch is going to fill in for you with Fear the Walking Dead.
Yay!
Yeah. Poor Phil. That will stick forever now.
So, I think it's funny, the episode that he's going to be podcasting with me is called Week.
I'm going to leave that between the two of y'all.
Oh, start getting the jokes ready, Phil.
Too funny. Well, listen, so talk to us about the featured cast member. Because I know that you probably have done tons and tons of background.
Not tons and tons, but I am so excited for this cast member. So, Daryl Mitchell, a.k.a. Wendell.
Who goes by Chill.
Yes! I'm so excited. So when I first saw him on the show, it didn't click. Like the voice, I could kind of recognize the voice, but it didn't click. When I watched The Talking Dead, I was like, oh my God, that's the teacher from 10 Things I Hate About You. And I was like, he wasn't in a wheelchair in that movie. So I, of course, looked him up. And I was wondering if what happened was degenerative or if it was an accident. So in 2001, Daryl was in a motorcycle accident, which paralyzed him from the waist down. But he has had a hearty career since then also.
That's cool.
So, yeah, and the handicap community is very excited for the addition to Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, he said on Talking that he was just getting great contact from people in the disabled community.
Well, and it's such an interesting twist that, you know, how has this guy survived this long into the zombie apocalypse when people like Carl and Madison and everyone else who's died on the show, when everyone else has perished, how has this guy stayed alive? And I mean, who knows when he met up with Sarah? Has he been like the other guy where he's locked in the brewery the entire time? Like, where has he been that he's been able to survive all this time into the zombie apocalypse?
We know he hasn't been a trucker because he doesn't know the code.
Keep on moving your truck.
So I also, when I saw him, I was like, I totally know this actor from somewhere. Where do I know this actor from? And then it was after I looked him up that I was like, oh yeah, he's the guy from Galaxy Quest, because
yes.
that's where I know him from the best.
Yes, and I love that movie. So his very, very first official acting credit was back in 1990, where he was in the movie House Party, which I think was more known for its stylish hairstyles than anything else. But he played a character named Chill, which he reprised in 1991 in House Party 2. But he has also been on several other movies and shows, like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where he played a character named Chill. So a lot of times when you see his acting credits, you will see Daryl Chill Mitchell.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's actually his Twitter handle, is Daryl Chill Mitchell. I think that might be, yep, and that's his Instagram handle too. So Daryl Chill Mitchell. And I don't know if that's just because everyone kind of knows him as Chill because he plays characters named Chill, or if because Daryl Mitchell is also a cricket player in England.
Well, you know, the other thing is Mitchell, Chill, you know, I mean, there's kind of that.
Right. And I'm sure when he first started acting,
that's where it came from.
House Party, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
And who knows, it actually may have even been like a high school moniker or something that he had. But he was on a couple of episodes of The Cosby Show, and like I said, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was in a little TV series in the early 90s called Here and Now, which I vaguely remember. The movie Sergeant Bilko with Steve Martin.
Okay, I kind of vaguely remember that.
Right? Like, it's starting to come back to you.
Yeah.
But he was in a movie with Martin Lawrence called Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Oh, I remember that movie. That was a hard movie, man.
Yeah. Okay. And so one of the things I really remember him from is the John Larroquette Show from 1993 to 1996.
That's what you were saying.
84 episodes. He ran like a newsstand or something in the like cafe or whatever that John Larroquette was in.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah. So the movie Home Fries, that was a cute little movie with
Drew Barrymore.
Mm-hmm. And then 10 Things I Hate About You, which Dianne has never seen, and I convinced her to see it tonight.
Yes, now I am willing to watch it after you told me what you told me.
So 10 Things I Hate About You is actually a modern adaptation of Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew.
Which I'm sure everyone out there who is listening to Biters, who is still listening to Biters, probably knows that because they're way cooler than I am.
And of course, I had Julia Stiles in it, and she also did a modern adaptation of Othello, which is also Shakespeare. So that's kind of a theme for her. But that's what I, like, immediately when I saw him on The Talking Dead, I was like, that is the teacher from 10 Things I Hate About You. And then, of course, you pointed out Galaxy Quest, and that was his next credit. He was in a show also called Veronica's Closet.
I remember hearing about that too.
So it had Kirstie Alley on it. She was
totally
Veronica.
Remember that.
Right? Okay, so I'm actually watching Kirstie Alley right now on Celebrity Big Brother UK, and she's killing it. She will probably be the second American to win Celebrity Big Brother UK, and the first, unfortunately, was Gary Busey. We won't talk about that. So he was in the movie Black Knight, also with Martin Lawrence.
Which was a very funny movie. I totally forgot about that.
I have seen like bits and pieces on
Oh
tape.
my gosh, it's really funny.
Yeah,
that must have been just before he got hurt.
It was. So he actually did 13 Moons, and then I think it was animated, the Country Bears.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. And so after filming or voicing or whatever, Country Bears is actually when he was injured. Country Bears was released in 2002. So between the release of 13 Moons and Country Bears is when he was injured. And his career has been just as flourishing ever since. He, a little later, he did an episode of Law and Order Criminal Intent. And then he did the TV series Ed.
Which I remember.
I actually never watched it. But he was in 39 episodes. So, his life went on. He did not let this slow him, his disability slow him down one bit.
No, he's done a ton of stuff. He's got a bunch of credits from NCIS New Orleans.
Yes. So Brothers was a short-lived TV series that he was on. He was credited with an episode of Desperate Housewives, if we've talked about.
Here we go again.
And what's funny is I think I've probably only seen one episode of Wizards of Waverly Place.
And it happens to be the one that he was in?
Yes.
Oh, that's too funny.
For some reason, I've only seen one episode of Seinfeld, but I've seen it like 3 times. I keep catching the Soup Nazi episode. So I don't know what the universe is trying to tell me, but yeah, I've seen his Wizards of Waverly Place. And then he became a series regular on NCIS New Orleans. And so this is probably why it came to such a shock to me that he was now in a wheelchair, is because he has had a major career after his injury. I've just really never watched him in anything that I took note, because I'm a fan of the original NCIS, and I'm so far behind on that. I know that main character is off. Well, 2 main characters are off the show, but I haven't actually seen it. So now he is Wendell on Fear the Walking Dead.
And I hope, there's only 1 credit right now, and I just hope that expands tremendously, because I would like to see this character continue.
Yes, I would love to see the evolution of this character,
yeah.
And I would love to hear his background. Where
yeah.
he's been this entire time. So,
and it sounds like he and the actress who plays Sarah have a great rapport, and it sounds like they are really funny together.
Oh, and I cannot wait to do her as a featured cast member too, because I've seen her in so much, and I loved last night that her nickname is also Mo.
Right.
So, and that's actually, I think that's one of her Twitter handle. That's part of her Twitter handle is something Mo.
Very cool.
He retweets her a lot on his Twitter. So his Twitter and Instagram are super duper funny. If you do nothing else today, whenever you listen to this, go to his Instagram and do 2 things. Check out his Mardi Gras costume. He dressed as BB-8.
Oh, that's awesome.
With lighted wheelchair and the whole bit. It is amazing.
That's totally awesome.
And the other thing is one of his guy friends, I don't know if he was a makeup artist or whatever, but they were doing one of those peel-off facials.
Uh-huh.
Where it shows you all the gunk that it yanked out of your pores.
Oh.
And so he does a video of that, and it's so funny to just see 2 men doing a facial. I love it. If you do nothing else today, go and watch that. It will make you smile But check out his Instagram, Daryl Chill Mitchell.
Well, I just followed him, so it'll be a treat.
Yes. Yes. And it looks like he and Jenna Elfman are very good friends too. So that just makes me immediately trust that I know that I like him.
Right on.
So he works with, he founded the Daryl Mitchell Foundation to raise awareness for spinal cord injuries. And he also serves as a minority outreach spokesperson for the Christopher Reeve Foundation.
Oh, very cool.
And going through his Instagram, he I couldn't find this anyplace else, but on his Instagram, he has actually gotten into the tiny home business. Tiny homes is as in the ones you can actually like pull behind you in a truck.
Oh, cool.
And he specializes in ones for people with disabilities.
Very cool.
So if you or you know anybody who has a disability who is interested in tiny homes, find Daryl Chill Mitchell. Oh, and he has the most beautiful blue-nosed pit bull, Staffordshire Terrier, and her name is Spice, and she is so sweet, and she is so spoiled.
And she probably features quite prominently on his Instagram as well.
Yes.
Oh, I have a feeling I'm going to be spending a fair amount of time on his Instagram page.
Yes. There's a cute little video of his son and Spice playing tug of war in the kitchen.
Cool.
So, yeah, his Instagram is totally normal. It's work and food and family and dogs and yeah, go follow him on Instagram. He is so much fun.
Well, I don't have anything nearly as cool, but
I didn't even watch any video interviews with the guy, and I could talk about him all night. I love him. I'm so happy he's on the show.
Let's just hope that it lasts.
You know, I was thinking about when I was watching the show.
At least for a little bit.
I was like, imagine where we were 3 years ago watching the show, and we were bemoaning the cast and what was going on and just everything. And now, could you have imagined 3 years ago that we would be this excited to talk about Fear the Walking Dead and the cast members?
No.
And, right? Kudos to everyone who has worked on the show this past season and a half-ish. You have totally turned this train around.
I think they totally turned it around this season.
Yeah.
Although, actually, you're right. There was some really good stuff on the back half of last season, too. It really started to turn around.
Yeah. With Taka and the Nation and everything. Yeah. It was it started to get super interesting mid-season last season. And this season, with the basically total revamp of the cast. And
did you hear that?
That was Smalls groaning.
Oh my god. He's right outside the door and he's completely disgusted that he's not right inside the door. So
I thought he was just bemoaning the show from 3 years ago.
He was totally picking up what you were throwing down.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm so happy that this show is going in this direction. I'm so excited every week for next week. And we've had a couple of episodes where it's kind of like, meh, it's middle book, but now we're getting new castmates and things are, we're all spread out again, but I'm not sad about it. I'm super excited to see everyone's storylines.
And to kind of see how it comes back together, because it has to come back together.
Right. We got to get the band back together.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, that's Daryl Chill Mitchell.
Well, I have a little bit of Whisperer's Corner, courtesy of Thomas O'Mara.
I know, and I have no idea what you're going to talk about.
So
I'm so excited.
Beta was cast in Walking Dead Season 9. And it's Ryan Hurst from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh God, I gotta look that up because I watched
know, right? So I'm saying that like I'm cool and I know who that actually is. I had to be like, who? What? I had to look him up. He played a character called Opie on Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, I loved Ope.
I totally have not watched Sons of Anarchy because I just couldn't get into it. Shame on me.
Okay, if you have watched Sons of Anarchy and you're a fan of the show, there is, and I don't know if it's on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, I'm sure it's on all of it. It's Ryan Hurst's last episode for the show, and they actually like cut his ponytail off, and it's like a bunch of like 3 or 4 big dudes crying over this cut hair. It's like the most amazing video. Like, it made me cry.
Like,
they were
in the episode they're crying?
No. This was like his last day of filming.
Okay.
I think he had to cut his hair for another role.
Oh, okay.
And so it was sort of symbolic on the show. If you're a fan of the show, you know that if you leave or get kicked out of the club, you have to remove your tattoos, or they will remove your tattoos. And this was just sort of like a ceremonial scalping because of his final episode. But like it was his final episode, so like everyone started crying, and then I cried, and yeah, no. So go find his Ryan Hurst haircutting video.
Well, so he is now going to be Beta in Walking Dead, which means they are going to proceed with the Whisperers storyline.
I'm so excited because like he's also in another show that I really like. I think it's called Outlander.
Outsiders.
Yes.
I was gonna say I've been fairly faithfully watching Outlander, and I haven't seen him in Outlander. So
yeah. It's Outsiders, and it's basically Ozarks, moonshine brewing. You know, they live up in the backwoods and everything. Oh, and he really should also be on Vikings
because of that hair and that look.
He looks like a Viking. He's like Jason Momoa's little blonde brother. I love him.
Apparently he didn't always look like a Viking, because I have to tell you this before we get into our good, bad, and ugly in our episode this time around. His first credit in IMDb is Saved by the Bell. Not even the original Saved by the Bell, but Saved by the Bell, the new class.
Oh my goodness.
So he wasn't always as cool as Opie.
Okay, well, almost every single picture on IMDb is not Saved by the Bell. There's one from Lady Killers that I would have said was not him.
I loved that movie, and I was tickled that he was in that.
I am so excited for this now. Beta. Okay, I am totally on team.
You're on Team Whispers?
I'm on Team Whispers.
Oh my god, they're so horrible.
They are. I love it. I love him when he's an outlaw Okie who brews moonshine. I love him when he's a bad biker dude. Ryan Hurst.
Well, it looks like you'll be getting your fill of him on Walking Dead, so.
Yeah, he's already got a ton of credits listed for it.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Saved by the Bell, a new class. I would lobby IMDb to have that removed. Saved by the Bell, okay. But Saved by the Bell, new class? Really?
He's got some really cool things that come up since then, though, so maybe he's hoping no one will look back that far. Can always hope.
I think he could have started out with the Beverly Hills 90210 credit and been okay. That's super awesome.
Student actor. Anyway, so he is our Beta. It is confirmed the Whispers are going to be a part of season 9, and thank you, Thomas O'Mara, for sending that little tip to me.
Yes, that's amazing. I love it.
So, shall we start into our good, bad, and ugly?
Well, seeing how we're already 40 minutes into the episode, sure.
Oh my god, are we really that far already?
We are.
Jeez. Okay, so my good was I totally got sucked in by Morgan getting trapped on that vehicle and losing his shoe, and I thought he was gonna die!
I did for like a split second. I'm like, no, because I watched it on a Monday. I'm like, I would have already seen headlines. Nope.
I have stayed largely away from any social media because I've been behind watching this, and I totally was like, oh my God, this is how it's going to go down. This is how it's going to go down. We're going to lose Morgan in the most inconsequential way. Oh my God.
It was close. Like, yeah, I literally sweated a little for him.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good. And, like a cat, he's got 9 lives. He got out of it.
Well, and that scene of him being surrounded by all those walkers and trapped and then them grabbing his foot, I was like, this is it, man.
Well, and I couldn't help but hear Al's voice when he was, zip tied. And I'm like, I had a dime for every time I was zip tied.
Right.
I would start keeping some sort of like razor blade or something like in the seam of the back of the waist of my jeans or something that wouldn't be felt but with a pat down, like a pocket knife or anything. But it just seems like people are getting zip tied left and right. You'd think you'd account for that, and you'd start carrying something.
We've certainly seen more zip ties in Fear than we have in Walking Dead proper.
Right. Oh, yeah, that was scary. And I've actually going hiking and walking the beaches and stuff here in Alaska. There are sometimes where it looks like you can get up that little bit of a slope and you really can't. And I'm not zip tied when I'm trying to do it. In fact, I have a dog trying to drag me up with
You're not zip tied and shoeless.
Right. With, walkers behind me panicking. And so, yeah, I could totally relate to that, because there's every once in a while where I'm, I get down somewhere and I can't get back up. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Right. Or worse, I've fallen and I can only get up on top of this car.
I've fallen and there's zombies surrounding me. Oh, we're going to be awful when we need Lifeline, aren't we?
That's going to be the first call that I make. I've fallen and there's zombies surrounding me.
Send that cute fireman named Brad.
The one that was in the calendar.
With the blue-nosed pit bull puppy.
Right.
We're going to be terrible. It's going to be awesome. So, my good is the addition of our new characters. I
agree.
So excited for fresh meat for the grinder. And what a cast of characters. We have Wendell and we have Sarah. And like I said, I am super excited to do Sarah's castmate of the week, which will probably be next week, which you'll miss.
I will listen though.
And then Jim, or Jimbo, as Wendell calls it.
Right. Momo and Jimbo.
Momo and Jimbo. And I don't think you can actually improve upon Wendell. I think that's just Wendell.
I don't think you can improve upon Wendell the human being. So I think you're exactly right.
Yes. And I love his whole... the shotgun thing. Could you aim that a little lower?
Right.
Sure.
Could you lower? No. Could you lower that?
Could you lower that? And then at the very, very end, we get a glimpse of someone who is only being credited as Filthy Woman, which I think is a horrible moniker.
Strange and scary, right?
So she kind of looks like I'm going to say this wrong. Calista from, what's the Johnny Depp where he's the pirate?
Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yes. Yeah, I can't think. It's a old sea witch, and there's a lot of lore. There's a lot of lore surrounding Callisto. Is something like that. That's what she reminded me of. And I can't find it, of course. But yeah, so that's for me. That's what she looked like to me. Like, I wouldn't have called her filthy woman. Like,
right.
That's just horrendous.
This is all kind of ringing a little Terminus-like, though, isn't it?
Okay, and so if you will remember from last week, when I was like, I would not trust the box.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were right.
Apparently, initially you could trust the box. Like, the guy who was originally doing it was good, but like all good people, he befell horrible people.
Okay, so we agree that he was the walker with the rebar in his neck at the end?
That's a really good theory.
I'm not making it up. I heard somebody else say it. I think that's him.
Purvis. That was the walker. With the rebar in his neck.
I think it's our guy who started the boxes.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh. So I'm super excited to see where all of this goes, because first Sarah and Wendell are good, and then they're bad, and Jimbo is good, and now he's throwing into the bad, but Morgan's making everyone do good stuff, and so I'm really excited to see where this goes. And watching the little 30-second clip of next week's episode, I don't know that the filthy lady's bad.
The other thing is we have another cast member coming up, someone who threatens Jenna Elfman's character.
Oh, that's right.
So we have a whole new, probably unrelated series of cast members coming to us as well.
And that's just Morgan and Jenna Elfman, whatever we're calling her.
June.
Laura?
She's June.
Okay, she's June.
As far as we know.
There was a episode titled Laura, so I'm stuck on Laura. But I know she's got like 3 names. And then Al's character, these are just the people they're running into. Like, we haven't seen anything that Luciana or John or anybody else has run into or will run into. So we could double our group size by the end of this.
Or in true Walking Dead style, we could have a whole bunch of people get killed off and be at the same size that we're at now.
Which would still be awesome.
Right.
So yeah, that's my good, is fresh meat for the grinder.
Well, so my bad was I felt like Morgan lying about the bridge was really out of character.
I wondered why he did that. What made him give up on everybody?
And for him to say, I'm a coward, I felt like that was really out of character too. I did not feel like that's the Morgan that we know.
Could you catch any of the voices that were running through?
No, I was trying to figure it out too.
Yeah, I couldn't catch it. So yeah, that was super disappointing and really out of character. I absolutely agree with your bad.
So my bad is short, but that's what it was.
Well, and then my bad is something that I actually just talked about, is that first, like, Mo and Wendell were good, and then we find out they were bad. And okay, sure, like, they're not, like, bad. Apparently they didn't kill the guy. They say they didn't kill the trucker. They left him on the side of the road. But then they try and kidnap the brewer Jimbo, and I don't totally trust that they actually, like, I don't know. I feel like all of this is a setup. I kind of think that Jimbo was in on it with them, but then he almost really did die. There's something hinky here, and everyone's too easily persuaded. Like, Jimbo was too easily persuaded to just hook up with Sarah and Wendell and be like, okay, I'm going to beer brew for these guys, even though they tried to kidnap me and almost got me killed and stole all my stuff. And then Morgan's like, oh, okay, well, I'll tell you where Virginia is, you know? And, like, now they're like, well, okay, we'll do the right thing if you tell. Like, everyone just seems to, I guess maybe you can't choose your company. Beggars can't be choosers in the apocalypse, but I don't know. Morgan seems to easily cut people off. If I were him, I would have just taken my staff and kept on walking. Right?
Except now he wants to go back and rescue our people in Texas.
And still go back to Virginia. And dude needs to get his priorities straight. Like, get on a track and run. Just stop trying to be everywhere at once.
I think he really, really, really wants to be back in Virginia, and I think that's going to happen.
I don't think he knows what he wants. No, so that was my bad. It's just, like, I guess, you have to lower your standards in the zombie apocalypse if you want company.
Well, look at Eugene and Abraham. You do have to lower your standards.
Oh, I'd rather be Coleman Domingo in the wine cellar.
I'm there with you, actually. I don't think that's too bad of a way to go out. If you're gonna watch the world go up in flames, having it with a 50-year-old bottle of wine, 60-year-old bottle of wine, not so bad.
Yeah. And a good record collection.
Yeah.
Yep. So what was your ugly?
So my ugly was actually your good, which is that I'm just so excited about having new cast members. They're not very nice people, and they're not people that I'm super happy that might be going back to Alexandria, but
they're
I'm
super
happy that we have new cast members, because I agree. I think we've really needed some new life as far as that goes.
Yeah, and it's not like a whiny mute teenager. They're super interesting.
Right. I mean, I actually am really curious about how did Wendell survive?
Well, and okay, so as far as I know, you need some major training to drive a truck. So I think Sarah's legit on her truck driving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she may not have, maybe like her other half did it before the apocalypse. And so she kind of, because I mean, it's not like you turn the key and put it in gear and step on the pedal. Like, it takes a little bit more finesse and skill than that. So, to be driving Wendell all over hell and high water. And I kind of also want to see, like, the mechanics of him getting in and out, because I don't think he has any sort of lift system or anything in there. And it's not like they can just leave him in the truck all the time, because we do see him putting stuff in the boxes on the side of the road. So, yeah, there's a whole lot there. I'm so excited.
I'll bet you he's got killer upper body strength.
Ugh, yeah.
I mean, he's going to have to have survived in the ZA.
Writers, if you're listening, we want to see shirtless Wendell.
Hashtag shirtless Wendell.
In a calendar with a blue-nosed pipple puppy.
Because I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh, and Sarah can be Miss July because she has got some guns.
She does.
Yeah.
She definitely does.
So, that's awesome. So, my ugly was also a good ugly. So, like I said, I'm not feeling Jimbo. There's something up with him. Like, spending his entire time in a brewery, like, it's been, 3 years or something? Really? You've spent this entire time
holed up in his own little brewery?
Yeah. So, but what he said totally checks out about the beer.
Just in terms of beer being part of civilization?
Yes,
oh, absolutely.
Humans survived the Ice Age. We absolutely will repopulate this earth like cockroaches or locusts or some sort of bug. And I mean, at this point, like, if the zombie apocalypse doesn't wipe us out here in real life, we're going to start populating other planets. So we really are like locusts. And for him, his whole, beer is what made people settle down and start farming and making lives for themselves. That totally is legit. I've heard that before. And, ancient Egyptians used to brew beer, and it's a universal thing. Distilling vegetation into alcohol was done the world around before we were able to communicate with each other. So it is a natural drive that we have. And so I'm actually super excited to have a brewer in the mix because I love our local breweries here in Alaska. In Juneau, we have the Alaska Brewing Company, and we have Devil's Club Brewing and Barnaby Brewing. And now we have a new distiller who's currently distilling gin. And so I'm totally on board with that. I'm totally into it. And it's just, it's part of human history. And I love how they incorporated that into the show.
Did you think it was really awful though? Just the kind of the light that you saw in his eyes when he was like, and I was going to be rich. And then this was all taken from me.
Him and Strand are going to get along just fine.
Him and who?
Strand.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If those two can hook up, could you imagine that? They're going to be brewing for, like, the entire state of Virginia.
No doubt.
Yep.
No doubt.
Yeah, so I thought it was really cool to incorporate that little bit of human history and to demonstrate it and articulate it in the show. I was like, I get that, right on. And then they threw out his condenser, and I was just like, oh, it's like it weighs less than a pound.
See, I haven't done any brewing, so it was totally lost on me.
It's that little copper coil.
The coil. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a cooling thing. And I mean that can come in handy just as a survival thing. If you need to distill water, you can boil seawater and put it through a condenser because the steam will come out as fresh water and it won't have the salt. So not only will you have fresh water, but you will have salt for preserving. So it's less than a pound. Don't throw out your condenser.
He grabbed it, right?
I don't know. I'm
pretty sure he grabbed it.
I think he went to grab it, and that's when he knocked Morgan down the hill.
Oh.
So I don't know if he actually picked it up before they left, but I'm like, throw out one more bag of hops and keep the condenser because you're not going to find copper piping in a coil very easily nowadays. But you can grow the hops. Yep. So that was my ugly, and it was a good ugly. For once, it was not a wishy-washy good, bad, ugly. It was straight up good because it involved alcohol.
That's really funny. It was straight up good because it involved alcohol.
It is the stuff of life. I forget how he phrased it, but it was
is the staff of life is what he said. The
staff of life, yes. And tonight it's white wine. Well, it was red, now it's white.
I had some sugar-free sweet tea. I was pretty boring.
Good for you. You say potato, I say vodka.
Right. I agree. Hey, I'm looking forward to Hawaii and Mai Tais, so you say potato, I say rum.
And Alaska Airlines does give out free Mai Tais on your way to Hawaii.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's the real reason I won't be podcasting with you on Sunday is that I will be soaking in Mai Tais, so...
I'm so jelly. And the hurricane is passed. I haven't heard about any spectacular eruptions.
Right.
I think you're okay.
I think we may actually have survived.
And unless natural disaster Dianne is headed for them.
That I am a disaster. I am not going to lie to anybody about that.
No, you're a force of nature.
So what do you got in your rotting potpourri?
So I had a hard time deciding on my goods. The very, very end, when Morgan was radioing, he's like, I don't even know your name or if you're still out there, but we're going to return your truck and we're putting the boxes out. And that just gave me the warm and fuzzies. And I mean, that could have been the wine talking, but I just, this show, I love this show because it just makes me so cynical about people because I'm like, when you're doing something good, you're up to something. But also when somebody I love is doing something good, I'm like, oh.
But
So
he's radioing out, and we see the guy with rebar in his neck, like, clacking his teeth at the crazy lady.
I know they just give you a little bit and then they snatch it back.
They did. They snatched it back.
I love it. But again, we don't know. Okay, so people who taunt walkers for fun are probably not the best people, but we don't know her story.
We don't know her story. She does look a little disturbed, though.
That could have been her abusive ex-husband.
Ed. Right?
Right. So, you never know. Like, I am trying not to prejudge Filthy Woman.
That is a really awful moniker.
Isn't that an awful moniker? Because I don't even think she looked filthy. I think she just looked like she needed some cream for her skin. And, like, that's a thing. Like, we've been, a couple friends and I have been talking about, because one of my friends on a hike recently pointed out a leaf that you can rub on your skin, and it's a natural bug repellent.
Oh,
and I was
really?
like, yeah, and remember that scene in season 4 of The Walking Dead where Daryl was watching somebody. It was the episodes with the horses, where he was watching somebody rub something like a wheat thing that he just picked up off he picked like a piece of grass and rubbed it on his skin. And Daryl knew that it was a natural bug repellent, so he's like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. And so, my friend had actually pointed out, she was pointing out all kinds of edible berries, and we have chocolate lilies where you can eat the root. They taste like rice. You can cook the root of this lily, and it tastes like rice. And so, like, that friend immediately made my zombie apocalypse bug out team.
Because you'll be well fed.
Well fed, and the bugs won't bite me.
Right.
And then my massage therapist and I were talking, and we are big fans of, like, Doomsday Preppers and the show Dude, You're Screwed. And so we were talking about this, and she actually has this essential oil that immediately, like, coagulates cuts and wounds. But it's really, really expensive per ounce. And she's like, that's really the only thing I prep with is my essential oils, because that's what we're going to have to turn back to if society ever breaks down. It's not like we're going to have, hydrocortisone cream all the time. We're going to have to rely on the plants around us. So, yeah, the filthy lady, I think, just needed some, like...
She just needs a little doTERRA, and it's all going to be fine.
Yeah. Just those healing essential oils.
Oh my god.
Oh, so what do you have?
I have a lot of notes, but I don't know how much I mean...
We've got over a lot.
Yeah. I did see the credits show the opening credits.
Oh, that's right. I do have that on the back of my notes.
Mm-hmm.
Clearing skies, debris, and the truck.
Yep.
Yep.
And let's see what else. Who is Polar Bear? That was one of the people that they mentioned on the... I think my husband is cleaning outside of the room. Dear God. I can't get any peace.
So,
hey, whatever you're doing, knock it off.
Your house is so exciting.
God. Okay, sorry.
I cannot believe you just yelled at your husband for cleaning. I would have been like, come in here and do that.
Right. Oh, well.
What were we talking about?
I don't know, man. Oh, Polar Bear. Who's Polar Bear? That was one of the people that they mentioned on the radio.
So was that just some BS she was trying to reach out on a handle? Because Wendell didn't seem to know who she was.
I don't know.
Or is she legitimately looking for Polar Bear? Or was Polar Bear the guy with the rebar through his neck? And she, yeah. Because she ended up at the flip-flop truck stop, didn't she? That was where that ended.
Well, I don't know.
I know. Like, I was like, is it in a similar truck stop? Because it looks the same. But a lot of truck stops look the same.
It was confusing.
Yeah. So she sounds like she's on on their tail because she's like, well, Purvis, it looks like we're headed to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were just in Mississippi. Maybe she's in Mississippi and she's following them to. Yeah. They do meet up with her, though, at some point. So she catches up with them or they have to double back or. Yeah. I do like in this episode how they showed our crumbling infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, roads and overpasses and bridges are going to break down.
Although not when Morgan says they are.
No.
Morgan is just lying.
Morgan's full of it. But yeah, I mean, the world's infrastructure is breaking down as we saw in, God, what was it, Italy, where they had the big bridge collapse?
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's happening in modern times, let alone when you've got nobody taking care of stuff or inspecting things or, you know, natural disasters hit and, you know, washes out a bridge. And this is what makes people group up in areas. You know, you will have geographical boundaries that will, you know, keep people from easily moving to other areas. And so this is when you get some tribalism. You know, you'll have some separation of people and maybe a few that'll can go back and forth as trading or raiders or whatever, but people are going to be starting to be limited by their geographical location.
Well, and this is kind of how they're set up back in Alexandria.
Right. Right. So, yeah, I love the further progression of the deterioration of society.
Well, I do too, especially because it's bringing some new faces to us that are going to make it even more interesting.
And some new issues, you know? I'm super excited about Daryl Mitchell joining the show and seeing how, because I actually, this is funny, like every winter here in Alaska, I have to walk up about 2 or 3 blocks from my parking spot at work to my work. And it's outside on our sidewalks and everything. And they're pretty well maintained. But I would not want to have any sort of disability. It never fails. Like 2 or 3 people will come into the office one day on crutches with like boots or knee braces or something, full casts, you know, and they slip and fall. And then for the rest of the season, you know, they have an enormously difficult time getting around in the snow and the ice. And I look at that and I'm like, we have 2 working legs and there are a lot of people here in wheelchairs and I could not imagine trying to get around in modern society where there is people doing road work and clearing streets and, you know, things like that. I could not imagine Wendell's story and I'm so excited to hear it. I hope we do.
I was just going to say, I hope we do, because, you know, they do have an unfortunate tendency to give us characters like this and take them away very quickly.
You know, just based on the other characters that he's played from like 10 Things I Hate About You and Galaxy Crest, I really hope he sticks around because I think he's a great actor and I think he's going to bring a lot to it. And he has been so funny. And I just, for the sake of that, I really hope that is able to translate into the show also. And that, you know, I just love how they introduced him too. The whole, why do you use that doll?
Well, and did you watch Talking Dead?
I did.
So that was pretty awesome that was inspired by some real life experience.
I'm sure it is because I am one of those people, I will not use the larger stall unless it is the only one left or I'm having to do like something that requires more space because I fit just fine normally in a regular stall. But like if I'm having to change in and out of like, I don't know, my yoga clothes or something on my lunch hour, I want the larger stall. I don't want to be elbowing the stall, and I'm in and out as quickly as possible. And actually, the floor that I'm on now, I'm on the 5th floor. We actually do not have a larger stall. Our larger stalls are located on floors 2 and 3, so I don't even have to worry about that at this point anymore. But I'm one of those that, like, I would never go into a bathroom and have my choice of the stalls and choose that one. Like, it would just be my luck that the one person who survived at that truck stop is the one person who needs that stall.
Kind of like Morgan's luck.
Yes. Could you give me a minute?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
The only thing that could have been better is if you would have been like, I'm really into this article in Dog Fan.
Toy Dog Monthly.
Oh, that's what it was. Toy Dog Monthly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure there's something else.
I'm sure there is. I loved this episode. And not just because, like, it was just Morgan and new people, but probably.
I have to say, I wrote, as I was watching it, who would leave a blindfolded, shackled person in a field to be eaten by walkers? And then it turned out that it was Wendell and Sarah.
I don't think that they left him. I think that he got away and just, like, I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. You're zip-tied and blindfolded. Do you stay with the people that zip-tied and blindfolded you, or do you run away zip-tied and blindfolded only to be, like, chased by walkers? And
in the zombie apocalypse, you probably don't run away zip-tied and blindfolded.
Right? I'm weighing my options, and I'm like, okay. And, of course, we're the only female-centric Walking Dead podcast, apparently. And so I look at things as a woman, and I'm like, zip-tied and blindfold. I probably don't want to stick with you, like, in a zombie apocalypse, or no. But in the zombie apocalypse, if I run, I just could wind up being a zip-tied walker with a blindfold over my face.
Right. That's exactly it.
Yeah. There's no good options there. None.
Yeah, I would opt for staying with the people who zip-tied and blindfolded me, at least until I could get out of the zip-tie and blindfold.
Right? Yeah, I think I probably would have too. Although, they needed to lose some weight in the back of that truck. It would not surprise me for them to be like, well, there's 160 pounds we can drop off.
I was totally expecting them to be like, see ya.
Yeah. Yeah. So... yeah. I'm excited.
I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that I want to talk about. No, I think I said everything I wanted to say. I mean, it looks like we definitely got some bad folks to come, but I think it'll be good.
5 episodes left.
A lot to happen in 5 episodes, especially because it's going to take us rip-roaring into the new season of Walking Dead Prime.
Oh, I can't believe Preacher's over. Fear the Walking Dead is tying up, and then full-on Walking Dead.
And early this year, October 7th.
Yeah.
Usually they're much, much closer to Halloween.
To Halloween.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So, we have talked about the show. I, on Sunday, started a new obsession.
Okay, so tell me.
It is The Walking Dead Our World.
Oh, I've been playing that for a while. You need to join the group that Brian's in.
I can't find it. I joined a local group, and there's only my other half and I, and then, like, one other dude. But there's, like, 17 people in the group, but the other 14 are slacking. And so I might be in the search for a new group, so I gotta find Brian's army.
Yeah, you gotta just send a private message to Brian.
Okay. Because I am obsessed with this game.
That's so funny. I actually have spent money on this game, and I don't spend money on games.
Me too. And I find myself, like, taking the dogs on the walk so I can hit the warehouse and drop off some survivors at the end of the block that I can't reach from my house. And I find myself driving home from the store. Well, we'll be driving home from the store. I'm not driving. I'm running both phones.
You're running both phones. That is hilarious.
And I'm like, no, go past the house. We have an epic crate like 2 blocks ahead. Yes, no, this game has altered the course of our life. If you are not playing it, go to the iTunes store, go to Google Play, and download The Walking Dead: Our World. It's supposed to be a VR game. It's not that cool unless maybe you're outdoors with that little VR function. I never use it. It slows down the stuff a bit.
Yeah, they're still having some issues with their servers. So
yeah, on the dog walk tonight, my my app froze like 4 times and the most infuriating times. So yeah,
it does that.
Yeah, there's still bugs that are being worked out. I think we're only on version 1.2.3. So
I think you're right.
So, but it is so much fun. I'm not a gamer. I am not a gamer on my phone. I abhor people who play Pokemon Go. Actually, I have really good friends who play Pokemon Go, so I can't actually say I abhor the people.
Dude, you're totally the pot calling the kettle black because this is Pokemon Go for zombie.
It is
people.
Pokemon Go for zombie people, and I know that. Okay. If you see my little black Toyota Corolla cruising through your neighborhood, like slowing down and stop in front of your house, it's because you have a horde or an epic crate in front of your house. I'm going to stop and park in front of your house for like 5 minutes.
See, you totally have to be a part of another group so you can get their flares, man.
I don't even know how flares work. I just started this Sunday.
You need to talk to Bri.
I know.
You totally need to talk to Bri.
I know. I just figured out hand grenades. Oh.
Right. And then it takes you so long to figure out the hand grenades. And then when you get them, you're like, now I'm running out of them.
Yes. I'm like running out of hand grenades and med packs for the first time. Yeah. No. Like everyone needs to go download this game. It is so much fun. And it is the biggest time suck. Your boss will hate you.
And they're coming to the point where we will be able to be survivors against survivors, which is kind of scary.
I've taken on a few raider camps.
Yes, but it's going to be like groups taking on groups.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. So, yeah, I had to talk about the game because we are absolutely loving the game.
Excellent.
We try to get places early. Seriously, this is what our Sunday was like. We was like, okay, we cleared everything in our area, like meaning our 2-block radius of our house, and then it responds like a half an hour. Hordes respond after 8 hours, and like after 2 or 3 rounds of this, we were like, let's take the dogs on a walk. And so we did like our block. We did like a 1.5 mile loop around our house, and then it was like, well, we need to go to the liquor store and to the grocery store. And so it was us loitering in front of the liquor store to the point that the guy came out of the liquor store and was totally giving us the hairy eyeball.
Oh, how funny.
But we went in and bought 6 bottles of wine, so it was fine.
Look, I'm just killing zombies, man. Just give me a chance.
Like, you have a horde in your parking lot and a survivor in the cooler. And so then we went to the grocery store and had to kill everything in the parking lot before we got in. So by the time we did all our grocery shopping, stuff had respawned by the time we got... Like, it takes us forever to do our errands because we are constantly, like, on our phones killing crap, doing what we're gonna do, coming back, stuff is respawned, so we're on our phone. Everything takes so much longer, but it is so much fun. And especially if you get in a group and you kind of get competitive about it and, you all level up and everything. So
yeah. I agree.
The Fear the Walking, or I'm sorry, it's the
Walking Dead, Our World.
TWD, ow.
I think you have to look under Our World in App Store, though. I think it'll come up like that.
Yeah. My my app just says Our World. So yes.
Mine does too.
Okay, and the very, very thing that I have to talk about is I noticed it last week, and I thought it may have been an anomaly, but am I the only one that noticed the new show announcer?
No, the new show announcer.
Yeah, so the dude that comes on at the beginning of the episode, and they're like, previously on Fear the Walking Dead.
I totally didn't notice that.
The announcer, and like at the end, of course, he's like, next week on Fear the Walking Dead. It is a much younger, less deep, gruff voice than it has.
That's funny.
They totally changed announcers, and I'm dying to know why. Like, nothing bad about the new announcer. It's just like mid-season, all of a sudden, there's a new announcer. What happened? Inquiring Minds want to know.
Well, a bunch of people did quit after Chris Hardwick came back.
That's very true. It's very true.
And, I'm not saying anything one way or another about Chris or starting that conversation up again. I'm just saying a bunch of people did quit. So it's possible that might be behind it.
So, new guy, you're doing a good job. I noticed there was a change. So, yeah. I was like, last month, I was like, oh, maybe it's a one-off anomaly where, like, the regular guy had, like, laryngitis or something. But, nope, I think he's a permanent fixture, so I'll have to see if I can figure out who the new announcer is.
I think it's so funny that you noticed that.
Yeah, I don't know why. All right, my dear.
I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you and Phil take it away this coming weekend, and then I'll be back.
Excellent.
And
have fun in the 50th state.
Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. Amazing.
You deserve it.
Thank you. I feel like I do too.
Yep.
All right, everybody out there, have a good week.
Yes, have a good week.
And you and I will talk soon, but you and Phil will talk sooner.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Sounds good.
Just remember.
Take it.
One dead
day at a time.
At a time.
Ah. I almost forgot completely, so I'm glad that you said something.
It's our code.
Keep the truck moving forward.
Road gets bumpy. And keep on helping the people who need help.
Right. We need t-shirts that say that.
All right, everyone. Have a good week.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.